Alright, so D23 Brazil was today, and Disney presented with their panel, especially from projects from animation to live action and other Fox related movies. But on top of that, with Lilo and Stitch, they actually showcased what Stitch is going to look like in this live action remake of Lilo and Stitch coming to theaters next summer. And from what we can tell, I think we are definitely in for a treat based on what we're seeing. And so I'm going to give you guys my quick thoughts and reaction to what I think of this first look still, and we should be excited for this movie and so much more to talk about. And so, if you're new to be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so it's on any future videos. But now, let's get into it. And now, if you guys have known about Lilo and Stitch, which is one of the best animated films of all time, and now, especially with this live-action remake of the movie that is coming out May 23rd of next year, 2025, and Disney is the thing about representing this live-action version of Stitch to life, and even ever since they were filming it, but even like this past summer at D23, we got our very first look at Stitch, and also it was for a brief upcoming seconds. But today it was at D23 Brazil that we actually got our very first look at Stitch in the movie itself, and this is our first look still. And even for what I can tell based on this image that we're seeing here, and he looks so adorable and so cute. But even though with this live action remake that is getting some backlash, some hate online, or whatever is being thrown out there, but even though I'm kind of intrigued for what this live action version is going to deliver, of course, it is Lilo and Stitch. I can basically tell. I mean, I think that this movie is going to deliver some goods. I mean, of course, I'm expecting a good story, but I just hope that it's not like a cash grab or like a nostalgia bait. But I just hope that it is like a very, very good story, and I think like this is basically going to follow its premise of like a little girl that finds an extraterrestrial being, and that with being Stitch. And even though throughout the movie is going to look like in live action, especially for when we got that first piece of footage that is going to be like coming out next summer of 2025, and even though with Disney and their live action remakes lately have been in like a slump, because even if you think back to the other ones, especially as Disney has the Snow White live action remake coming out in March of next year in 2025. But even though with Lilo and Stitch, and even for how Stitch looks in this film, I think it's gonna be pretty adorable to see on screen, because I think like families with kids are definitely gonna like take them to see this movie. And I'm thinking for what the reaction that this first look got, I think it's kind of positive. But I think like even though if you guys are seeing at this movie with like a whole different light, I mean, your opinion matters most. But even though just with this first look alone, I kind of feel like we're in for a good treat, we're in for a good ride. But even with the things, even if I'm worried about is how Disney will handle this live action remake of like this new take on the anime movie, especially as I think like it has half the cast coming back. But just with this first look alone, it's already enough to get me excited about that. We're going to see a live action version of Stitch, and even though people might be comparing this to another Sonic situation, if you know the marketing for the first Sonic movie, but even though with people that were worried about is how Stitch is going to look in this film, and I think this all looks good, I guess. And now, a few key points that I definitely want to make here is that, especially with the background alone, with I think this is Lilo's room of when she and Stitch are gonna start bonding and forming friendship, and of course this is a girl bonding over with a extraterrestrial being. But I just think that Disney is sort of like in like a good mood here. They're in pretty good shape to be like releasing this film. But I think that they have casted a great people to play these roles, and I just hope that they do it right and not just like give us like a copy and paste story, but it definitely adding a new layer and meaning to the story. But I wonder what soundtrack is going to be used in live action version of the movie, because even with the animated movie that came out back in 2002, I mean, we're in the 2020s. I mean, I think like this is definitely expected to have some kind of like a retro soundtrack or like a something of sorts. But just with this first look image alone, that's what Disney released, and that's just to get us all hyped up and excited about the upcoming Lilo and Stitch movie. But even though with Stitch right here, I think he looks kind of cute. I think Disney did a really good job with the design and based on how he looks. But I think like families will definitely take their young and loved ones to go and see this movie. But again, this has me intrigued. It also has me excited to the fact that this will be a big box office hit, because I mean, I just wanted this to be a win for Disney at the end of the day, but I think we'll guess have to wait and see from here on out. But this gets me excited, and I hope that this movie will deliver some good. But that's gonna do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments below, and what are thoughts on this first look image of Stitch in the upcoming live action Lilo and Stitch movie, and what is your excitement level for the movie? Just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications about future videos. Also follow all my social medias over the link down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.